Hello and welcome to our latest TV discussion. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom. And Brandon, what are we talking about today?
So today we were speaking about the latest episode of The Neighborhood, the season 6 season finale titled Welcome to the World, which is episode 115 of the show and just released on May 6th of 2024.
Yes. Well, Brandon, what were your thoughts? It was the season finale. What were your thoughts about the season finale?
Well, I think that this episode did a pretty good job at trying to bring everything together for the season. So, this season we had a lot of very fun moments, but the overarching story was that one of the characters, Marty, found out that his friend is pregnant, and so they are preparing for for their new child, and this is the big episode where everything really came together.
Yeah, I thought they did a really nice job of kind of bringing everything together. Normally, there were quite a few flashbacks in this episode, and normally I'm not a flashback per se type of person, but in this case, I kind of thought the flashbacks were effective. What were your thoughts of the flashbacks, Brandon?
Well, I always consider these ones sort of fake flashbacks in the sense that supposedly they're flashbacks to previous events, but we've never seen these events, and obviously they're just recorded, now to portray past things. I thought it was effective in this episode, but just in general, I'm not really much of a new scenes flashback person.
Yeah, and I kind of take the flashbacks for what they are in regards to. I have to see if they fit. In this case, I kind of thought they fit. They were talking, of course, about it was kind of foreshadowing, of course, Marty's girlfriend, not girlfriend, but a friend having their baby, but. But I thought Calvin was really kind of funny at those particular scenes. There were three different flashbacks. For those who have not seen it, there were three different flashback um, spots on this particular episode, and one had to be two of them were of course Calvin's children, and then the other one was Grover, and but the second one was the one that really kind of amused me when Calvin kind of fell out while he was driving while she almost had the baby. That made me kind of giggle. I do remember you were giggling too, Bran.
Yeah, and I do want to actually take a step back a little bit. So this series, The Neighborhood, produced in part by CBS Studios. So we have not spoken about the series yet on any of our discussions. And so, Mom, can you give us the overall premise as to what the show is?
Yeah, in this particular series, it's really about two different families who live next door to each other. They live in California. The main character, Calvin, he's married and he has two sons, and his two sons are grown sons. And so the children have come back and forth, and they are now living next door to their parents. The other family that involves is a married couple, Dave and Gemma, and they have one son named Grover, and he is, I guess, 13, 14, or somewhere around there, that age period might be a little younger. Brad, you're nodding, so he's a little younger. But they are raising their child, and so it's about these two couples who are just kind of where initially they didn't get it was an awkward sense initially. Now they get along and they're kind of almost like the best of friends, the neighbors.
Yes, and so Calvin's family are the Butlers, whereas Dave's family next door are the Johnsons. And yeah, but anyway, going back to this episode though, as predicted by the flashback sequences, is that Marty's friend Courtney goes into labor, and all that was actually while at a concert.
Yeah, I was at a concert, which of course, plot device. I guess what the interesting thing about this particular concert is, because we see a lot of fake concerts in a lot of TV shows, was that it was a Tony Braxton concert, and Tony Braxton actually was in the episode. And so I think I read somewhere where there were people speculating whether or not Tony Braxton would actually appear in the particular episode. And so it was nice to see that she was there, and they actually let her be part of the plot in this particular episode.
Yeah, and I thought that this, was a very effective way, especially as a way to bring her in, because I do know that, guest stars are no strangers to TV, especially the sitcom genre. But a lot of times, I feel like you need really clever writing to be able to make some of the stuff happen. I thought this was just a really effective way to bring her in, and like you said, she was a part of the storyline. And as per almost any birth episodes, of course, right after the actual birth, you do a time jump to later.
You do a quick time jump to later because on most TV shows, well, a lot of TV shows, the baby's never quite born in hospital, and so of course in this case, I hope spoiler alert, the baby was born in a limo per se, and so with Tony Braxton there, kind of giving some encouraging words as the baby was born. And you're right, Brandon. They did jump ahead after the end, and they were in the hospital. Um, I guess the next scene.
Yeah, and overall, we've been leading up to this moment all season. And first of all, did you think that this was going to happen? At the end of the season, or did you think this was going to be a next season event, or how did you see all this play out throughout this sixth season?
Well, I kind of figured the baby would be born at the end of the season. That gives a jump start because it would give an ending, per se, because the show is, I don't want to say nearing its end or anything like that, but it's been on for several years, so you just never quite know when a show is going to end. And so this would be a way to give it closure. And it would have given it nice closure if this was the last season, but it will be back next season. And so I'm imagining it's a great plot device in order to kind of have the baby there, and then the grandparents helping, and then of course the brother helping, and then the neighbors helping, and then we may even be introduced to one of Courtney's family members. I mean, and another plot device that they kind of threw in there at the very last minute is, where is Courtney going to live? Because she said they are friends, and so where will she live?
Yeah, and as a little caveat to this too, yeah, again, spoilers for the season if you haven't seen it, but Courtney's family is in Canada, and of course this series takes place in California, and so the family isn't able to be there, and I believe that they were going to originally be there for the actual birth, which this was a bit early, and so yeah, it is a good question as to what happens next and what happens with the relationship, and just as you mentioned, of course, it has been renewed for a seventh season, and as a little tidbit too, I'm not sure you're aware of, but in doing the research for our discussion, I found out that a potential spinoff has been just announced 2 days ago for Paramount Plus.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Did they speculate about who the spinoff is going to be about?
So, from the looks of it, the spinoff is going to be for a brand new character that's going to be made. That's going to be one of Calvin's cousins, and so not much information is really out about that. And I don't know if this is just a potential spinoff or if it's guaranteed or not. But this is the first I was hearing of it, so I thought this would be a good time to share.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing the potential spinoff kind of pop up on Paramount.
Yeah, and I will say too that something I like about the neighborhood is, yeah, if you've seen our TV talks for quite a while, is that we very much enjoy TV sitcoms and especially multi-camera ones, and so this is one of the few ones that are on the air, right now, alongside the likes of other shows we watch, such as The Connors and Lopez versus Lopez. So it's nice to have another multi-camera sitcom coming around.
Yeah, it is really nice. And there are not that many comedies that are out there now on actually just regular TV. So it is nice to see just a nice comedy that you can watch with your family.
Yeah, and overall though, Mom. So, what are your thoughts about how the season wrapped up? Did you think this was a good ending?
Actually, I did, Brandon. I thought it was a really nice ending. I thought that, well, it was funny. It held my interest the whole time period, and so it was a very nice ending and way to wrap up this overarching, as you said, the storyline with Calvin, well, not Calvin, but Marty and the baby throughout this season.
Yeah, and do you have any predictions as to what's going to happen with that? cliffhanger as to where will Courtney live, where will the baby live, what about Marty?
My thought is that they will kick poor Malcolm out of the house, and have to go back with his parents, and because they need the extra room there, and that would take care of, Courtney, the baby, and Marty being together, and then of course, Marty's mother's going to be there, and she's going to be there giving her advice and everything like that. So that'll be interesting to watch.
And we should mention too that Malcolm and Marty's house is owned by their parents.
Yes, yes, it is. And Brandon, are you going to go back and watch reruns of the show?
Oh yeah, definitely. And so yeah, I know we have a little bit of a gap before the next season starts up, and hopefully on time in the fall. I know that shows were a tad delayed, for this season, but I do hope to potentially catch some reruns for some reviewing. What about you, or are you just gonna wait straight for the next season?
In this case, I'll probably wait straight for the next season. I've got so many things that I want to watch, and hopefully we'll be able to watch some different things that we could talk about on our channel. And for our people who are watching, please feel free, give us a let us know what you want us to watch, and we'll be happy to do that.
Yeah, as these seasons are wrapping up with the TV season coming to a close, yeah, maybe we'll do some more. You'll have to let us know if you'd like to see that.
Yep, please let us know.
Well, as always, we always encourage you to watch these shows with us. And like we said, this was episode 115 of the series The Neighborhood, produced by CBS Studios. And this one was titled Welcome to the World.
Yep, thank you for watching today.
And we'll see you next time.
All right, bye bye.